Hello, Lauren.
Oh,
Hi, dear. How are you?
I'm good. My voice is a little bit iffy,
You feel
so I
better?
might have to speak
Yeah,
quietly.
beautiful.
But
No
how
problem.
about you?
How is the weather in London? We have a terrible weather. We have the coldest,
Oh,
the,
oh, it's gorgeous. It's
the
beautiful.
coldest
Yeah.
Memorial weekend that we had in 131 years. I like to break
Nice.
records. 52 degrees and rainy and nonstop. Ugh. But I had a great thing yesterday. I went to Broadway Smash, and
Mhm.
I met afterwards Susan. There was a roundup of about the play, and she was asking questions, and she was talking. I watched her, and I said, "Wow, that is." Tony Award winner multiple time. You know her, Susan. I'm very bad with the last name. You know her?
Well,
Smash,
I don't know.
Smash,
No,
the play Smash. She
don't know it. No.
Broadway. I will send you a link about that. Anyhow, so let's dive into our situation. I want to share
Mm,
with you that I shared your notes
mhm.
with with Brandon, not with Giselle, not with the one who wrote
Okay.
this together with me, the pilot in the Bible, and
Mhm.
he said you must share it with Giselle and give her the chance to fix it.
Sure.
But I think the way I see it, the person who made the mistake cannot see the mistake. The person who were going that path without the rules of script writing, without maybe not following the rules as much, can she go and correct it? I don't know. So I want your input and what you think. What at this stage you think you can
Well,
do.
let me ask you this about Giselle, because I'm always in favor of letting the original writer have a shot at fixing it. But let me ask you this about Giselle. What is her background? What has she written prior to this?
Not as much, not much. And she's too young. She's 29. She was an
Okay.
actor first, and then she moved to Paris for her boyfriend. And
Okay.
she's very devoted. She owns the feeling for the topic. She's part of the arena of the making of. So I like her as a person a lot.
Yeah.
And then after watching the YouTube that you sent me to watch, by the way, after
Mhm.
I start watching it, every second I get another clip from another person, which is a play out on the same words that those people said. The button, all the their style is being reinvented by another other person and speaking about the same topic,
Yeah.
which which the one thing we need to I'm asking you, do you feel that a story that is based on a true story can actually have a clear narrative?
I mean, the thing is, if you're talking about if we were talking about a movie, I would say no. A movie has to have such a clear narrative arc and such extreme causal relations between the plot points that it's rare that you can turn someone's life into a movie. But for a series, the way to think about a series is you need a premise that is a great engine for scenes. And I think The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is a great example. The arc of that show is quite simple. Will she make it as a comedian? That's it. And in TV, the stakes are often low and simple, and that's good because that means that the stories become very personal. But still, within each episode, within each act, and within each subplot of every episode, Somebody wants something, there are obstacles to get it, they have strategies to overcome the obstacles, and they either get it or they don't get it. And life rarely plays out that way. So that's why Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is based on Joan Rivers, but it's not Joan Rivers. It's a fictionalized version of Joan Rivers. And so I think for this to work as a series, you might want to think about loosening up the hold that it has on your actual life. That's my opinion.
Okay, all right. But for example, can she make it to America?
It can be, there's a lot. To me, it feels very much like a classic immigrant story. Can she make it to America? Can she make it on her own and have a career? It has shades of Mary Tyler Moore, even, or even like the Sex and the City girls. It's a woman striving to become something more than she was born. And that's a very compelling arc. And the fact that the main character is Israeli and wants to come to America, and the fact that it's a period piece makes it even more compelling, in my opinion. It makes it more original, more unique. So I think the thing to do is to have that be the kind of engine that drives the story. Mm-hmm. And then within that, or in addition to that, you have these other subplots. You have the romance subplots. You have relationship with family subplots, etc. But I think the arc should be as simple as, can she... I like the idea of her seeing Joan London, and Joan London is like a goddess. And like, she just wants to be on Good Morning America. And by the end of series 1, she's on Good Morning America. She got there.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's an arc. But then everything has to lead to it. And there'll be lots of strategies along the way. And I think you could lay that out in 6 episodes or 10 episodes, whatever you want to do, of her climb to do something significant enough to get on Good Morning America.
She was searching for a reason for them to interview her. She felt that she was cooking for the neighbors. That will never make her a value for Good Morning America. She was checking herself through the value eye of Good Morning America producer, like she knew what she was doing. She did not know what she was doing. Let's just, and that's the beauty about her. She was so naive to believe that if Joan London is coming to the Hilton in Los Angeles for 1 week of doing Good Morning America, she will come to visit her in a baby store. Like she had no realization of the momentum that she's seeking and the little chance that she has to get there. And yet, she believed that she has a huge, because she's going to think something. One thing that I love about, I don't know if you got to that, when she's in UCLA and she is case study, going to business management 101, and when the professor is saying, look around, find out what they need, even if they don't know it yet. Find a way to give it to them, but make sure they're willing to pay for it. It's not the ABC of life, of business life, but she did not know the ABC.
That was the best part of the entire series Bible. The moment where she goes to a lecture and then someone in the store asks her for something, they don't have it, she promises she can make it, she can't make it, so she hires someone to make it, gives it to them, and gets more customers. That was the best part of the series. I think I mentioned that in my notes, that the entire series needs to lay out like that. And that is the kind of thing that I could see happening at the midpoint. So maybe the first, if this is, I think you had 10 episodes, is that right?
Yes, 10 episodes. Yes.
So maybe the first three episodes are her trying to do something different. Like you mentioned, cooking,
Yes.
catering. Is that something
Okay.
that she thought she might do?
But that is a good. She did not want to make a big deal out of that story. I felt it was a good story to make more big deal out. She's arriving to an apartment in Huntington Beach. She does not have a green card. She cannot get a job, and she needs to pay rent, and she has no money. So,
Yeah.
okay, what do I know? I know how to cook. The people in this building at 5 o'clock would like to have my meatballs and rice and salad. And I can sell it to them I buy for 4, I sell it for 8. I'm not going to rob them. So here I am making this fixed lunch for every neighbor that pays $8 in 82. I mean, Lauren, we have to remember $8 was a lot of money. So we see her getting into
Yeah.
a great business. They need it. At 5 o'clock, they would like to have a home cooked meal on their table in the building. They're coming from work and they are not cooking. They don't know how to cook. They only know how to order in or McDonald's. At the time, there was not as much as today. And she gave them Uber Eat in 1982. And
I think that's really great. I love that. I think, and you could even reference that somebody says, "Oh, it's ridiculous to think that you could make a business out of delivering food to somebody's house." Um,
But I didn't have to
but I also,
deliver. There were the neighbors, all the neighbors. I was going to the building, to the apartments, and I had 2 trays of TV trays. One at the apartment for yesterday and one from today. So I would get every day the plate from yesterday. I wash it. It was washed, and then I prepare it for tomorrow. You would commit to
that's
me
great.
for 5 days a week. So every day you would have a nice home food. And then I started to have catering because people said, come to my apartment. I have this crazy lady downstairs who is making food for $8. Let's do dinner for all the office. So here I am
Right.
getting a 20 meals people. I can't make 20 meals. I have a kitchen of the size of my nose. I couldn't make
Yeah.
20. So there is a beautiful turn of the business growing because it was successful, but then there was no glamour factor. The glam factor was gone. She wanted glam. So she found glam in working in a baby store and dressed up like she's going to interview on Good Morning America. And when we
Okay.
say dress for the part, this is where I dress to the part. Now I dress like shit. I don't care. Sometimes I'll go out and I look like nobody will believe that it's me. I have a stand-up lecture, and the stand-up lecture is built about a story of me meeting my customer in a mall in Tel Aviv. And I'm jumping on her, telling her, how did she get this set of the diaper bag and the stroller cover? And she's like, America. Yes, I know. I am the designer. And she's looking at this housewife with the flip-flops and hair undone and Bermuda shorts, looking like a housewife, a real housewife. And she just walked away from me. She couldn't believe it's me. So next, I'm sitting in a flight next to a woman with a baby on her lap on business class, and on the bottom I see a diaper bag of Nava's design. So I'm not telling
Right.
her who I am. No. I said, oh, that's a
Right.
nice diaper bag. Oh, it's Nava's design. She's this and this and this and this and this. I get so many credits for things I never did, but okay, that's the story she wanted to tell. And the third lady joined into the story. Lauren, on the same flight, I had another customer that knew me. And she comes in and she said, oh, you look familiar. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell her who I am because the girl next to me, I didn't tell her already. So I'm kind of like nervous. She goes into the toilets, coming back. She remembered, you did my nursery for my boy. You were in my home. How are you? So the reason I did not recognize her is that only in America you can have a 9 months pregnant lady 6 months later looking like a fashion model. I mean, she was like slender and beautiful and I couldn't recognize her. So then the story is that I had 3 customers. One of them did not believe it's me. The other one knew me, but I didn't believe how she changed. And the woman who told me about myself couldn't believe that she was sitting next to me. So,
Right.
and it's the same customer. They had, three of them had my product, but they perceived me different. The lady in the mall in Tel Aviv, she didn't think I am who I am. The girl next to me in the flight, I didn't tell her who I am. And the other one, Laura, she knew me and had this, we had a closure of that story. So that is a story about how three angles of the same thing can look so different from the eyes of the beholder. Like that customer, that lady strolling with a baby in Tel Aviv, she does not think that that fancy designer from America is a housewife in Tel Aviv.
Right, right.
So we have
Okay.
a lot of scenes that I feel that we can really connect. And the other element that I think it was underrated was the photography.
Photography.
The photography is, I didn't think that I developed the photography as much. When I was
Okay.
15, I met a photographer, American photographer. And that American photographer took me to Club Med in Tel Aviv, in Israel. It was a beautiful, magical meetup. She was 26, I was 15. If it were being a man, I could have been raped. But I was very safe because she was a lady that only wanted to have a company. And she figured this funny girl here, she could take me with her. So Carol, she passed later in 1987 when I came to America, 5 years after she passed. But she took me with her to take the photos to the Club Med. She was working for a local Orange County magazine. I don't really know, I don't remember the name. I can look it up. The problem, I don't remember her last name. So
That's
we
fine.
ended up taking picture, and I seen for the first time in my life what is Club Med, and she needed me to take a picture of her. And here's this equipment, Lauren, very heavy equipment, and she says, and then you have to roll the film, you know, it's like the old fashioned. And she gave me the rules. The sun is in your back, straighten your horizon, and do not cut my legs.
Yeah.
And when you think of those three rules of photography, this girl, the first thing she did with the first money she made is bought Instamatic Kodak camera. And she started taking pictures and developing it from money she did not have. But she was obsessed with frames. So she started life with frames. Frames were her mind. The frame of John Kennedy with Jacqueline and Caroline in the nursery of Caroline, seeing the canopy crib and saying, one day, my kids in America will have this bedding. I will have a bedding canopy for my babies. This is the nursery I'm going to have. And mind you, it was a very simple nursery. Nothing to really now, after I became, and what I became, Lauren, is something that was not there before. Because designing nursery for home decor match, that lady that had Ethan Allen $5,000 sofa, she wants to match the bedding to the sofa. This is a reverse of roles because you don't match nurseries to a sofa. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. When you have a $5,000 Ethan Allen sofa, you want your mother to stay with you and the baby, you have to match the bedding to the sofa. And that's my breaking. And my first customer is Melanie Griffith, 1985, for her son, I think Alexander. She was married to Steve Bauer at the time.
Okay.
So when you talk about luck and opportunity and the moment, so I had the creativity to create the set, and I had the location to display it in the window of Beverly Drive, and
Oh, wait, can you just go back for a sec? What did the photographer have to do with this?
I'm just showing that the photography was the reason I frame everything in my mind. I took a frame of a crib when I was 7, and that frame became later my life. But later on, when I was 15, I started to frame everything. by pictures.
Okay.
So I would go into a hotel and I would take a picture of the lobby, and oh, I like that lamp, I like that curtains, I like the table, I like the floral arrangement. I would do a visual art of everything in my mind. This is what I like. And
Okay.
when you look at my home later, my home in America, here I am in a 5,000 square foot house, and I am decorating it without a decorator because I don't need a decorator. And I was right. I did not need a decorator. So there's things, and how did she know that? She knows that from her mother. Her mother had a fashion oriented mind, and her mother was obsessed with fashion, obsessed with textile, and that is the obsession that I got from my mother. So we need to also to entice my mother. My mother, she should not be only mean to me. She should be a whole woman.
I think that in general, I think we should layer in more of your attention to textiles. The fact that you notice textiles wherever you go, and I think it's great having a mother who inspired or contributed to your love of fashion and textiles. I think that's really good.
I have to say that she did only because they said, okay, tell me something good about your mother. Somebody says like, okay, she did not do that. She did a lot of bad things to you, but good things about her. So she was a cook, she was a homemaker, and she was a fashion-driven woman and fun seeker. She went on cruises in 1960s and 50s. She was a fun seeker. She wanted to go on luxury cruises, which taught me to be the same. Because in a way, I ended up being a luxury life seeker. Because when you seek that moment that you board a Crystal cruise line, you feel you arrived. When you mentally, you arrived. And it's important to live with your own credit for yourself. For me, Lauren, as a woman that came to America with nothing, and really found what they need. Give it to them.
Right.
They paid for it. And yet she has all the receipt to prove it. And not just the receipt, Lauren. I live from the income of that business still, by the fact that I took that to a real estate ventures. And the real estate is paying my life now. Just the rental that I get from my properties. I am just a free woman to do what I choose. Making the series is a choice. It's not, I don't have to do it. I want to do it. And when you do something because you want, and this is your passion, I feel that we need to get that crazy personality. Because Lauren, I am crazy. But I'm crazy in a way that I can identify the craziness. While you can't really find a lot of people who are crazy who know how to identify they're crazy. I mean, I know that I have ways to think that are so different than other people. Because maybe a lot of 60, 80 years old women would live their life that I could live without doing anything else. But then I will be empty.
All right, so let's think about so next, if you want to just take my notes and give them to Giselle and see what she does, that's fine.
I feel, Lauren, that I need to go with another voice.
Okay, so then this is what I would suggest. I've got about 4.5 weeks block before I go away on holiday. So in that period of time, I could rewrite the pilot and the series Bible.
But the only thing I need you to think is that you probably need to read the book.
Oh yeah, I'll read the book, of course.
It's on Amazon. It's Amazon. You can do it on Edible. You can read it on not audio. Yeah. It's I don't have it on audio, The audio was too expensive. It was $7,000 for the
Mm.
audio. I didn't want to pay $7,000. I would never get it back.
Yeah.
So maybe after
Yeah.
the series will be, or with Albert, I will start right away with the audio too. Because once you do it together with the print, it's easier. But when you do it after,
Yeah.
it's not as easy. So most of
Yeah.
the most of the people that do Audible right now, they do it together with the print. So with the print and the online. So okay,
Yeah.
so you are you able in 4.5 weeks to finish the book? It's 500 pages.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a good
I can-
reader.
I-
I
I
can
can-
see that you are a speed
I
reader.
mean, yeah. I mean, what I would want to do is start reading the book now and get to work Monday. But it would mean I'd need to have access to you because I'm going to need to ask you a whole bunch of questions.
We need to have Zoom interviews because that's how I did it.
We can have Zoom interviews. Yes, we can do that. And or I can also just be sending you questions. You know, where were you when this happened? Who described this person in greater detail or whatever.
Okay.
Let me think. And I think that the series Bible as you have it, it's very well structured for a series Bible, but I think you need to be thinking at this stage of the game more in terms of a pitch deck, which is kind of like a series Bible plus a little bit of extra material. So you're going to want comparative titles, a log line, suggested cast, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'll send you an example of a pitch deck I did for a drama series.
Okay.
So you can see what it looks like, the kind of stuff that we put in it. So I think the best way to do it would be to begin. I'll read the book, and then start just laying out plot points and figuring out which of the plot points that are mentioned in the book can work with that causal connective tissue, can become a therefore or a but thread. You know, this happened, then this had to happen, and then this happened because this happened, therefore this happened. And we'll just play with that to figure out what the arc of that 10 episodes is. And it doesn't have to be 10, by the way. It might be that there's not enough material for 10. Maybe it's 6. I mean, that's one of the great things about streaming is you can do 6, 10, 13, 20 episodes. So we should see what we've got, see what the material.
Do you need to know what the
allows.
Albert book is about? Do you need to know the continuation of the book? The Albert
Not
book
so much. I
start.
think
The Albert book start with Nava the baby in ICU. She almost died.
You as
No,
a baby.
no.
Almost.
Okay, the end of the book is the end of Caroline is that she made it to Good Morning America and designed the nursery for triplets. The name of
Okay.
the girl out of the triplets is Nava.
Okay.
They named her Nava after her. A
Okay.
week after she was born, few days after she was born, the beginning of the new book of It All Continued with Albert, she was informed that Nava is in ICU going into an operation. And there is a risk
Okay.
for their life because they were born 27-week triplets. So the 27.
And what are they? How are they related to you? These triplets?
I made the nursery makeover live for Good Morning America for 7 minutes.
Got it. Okay. So, got it. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think one thing at a time. I think we should do the first season, and then yes, we will want to include in the pitch deck. You should probably include just a very brief description of what the arc of the second series and the third series could be.
Okay. All right.
They'll want to know that.
Okay.
But that's all they'll want to. Won't want to see it all
But
completely
you
outlined.
think that we will call it second series or continuation to Caroline?
I don't know. It depends on how far we get. To be honest, it might
Okay.
be that the first book is 2 seasons.
Yes. Okay.
I don't. It
Yeah.
depends on, it's hard to know without, I should read the book, lay out plot points, and then figure out whether this feels like a complete season or season, 2 seasons with a cliffhanger.
Okay.
My instinct tells me maybe you don't get to the Good Morning America appearance in season 1. Maybe that happens at season 2,
Okay.
the end of season 2. I don't know. I'd have to read it
That's
first.
the cliffhanger when she meets John London in person.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. That could be it. You never know.
Before, because she
I
just.
like the idea of it ending on a note of not, the first season could end not on a note of accomplishment, but on a note of hope.
Hope. Well, when she meets
know?
a good John London, she said to her, I'm dreaming of being on Good Morning America. And it was 2003. By then, she's fired from Good Morning America 7 years. She hates their guts by now. And she was saying, just do something for them for free. They would love you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I will do anything for them for free. Yeah, I will. Why would you want to do
Right.
that? You're Nava from Nava's Design. They should pay you, not you pay them. And that's how she said that. You're a star.
Right.
Who they are? It's just a Good Morning show. I said, no, this is not just a morning show. That is like Good Morning America. Like, she was like demeaning my dream. And no, she was like making me aware of the fact that I am, as a Nava's Design CEO and a designer of her nurseries, and for that matter, at the time, it was already a lot of stars got my bedding. So I was not aware that I am the star. I thought that I'm still have to seek the stardom of Good Morning America. I did not think that I was bringing them a star, because when they introduced me in the show, Nava's Design, I became, they sold me in a bigger volume than I sold myself, because I stayed humbled. And I think that staying humble is a good thing, to stay humble. Even like when I was nominated for the Fabric of the Year Designs textile, I was laughing. I said, I am the best you have? Are you I'm the best you have? Like, I couldn't even believe that they would think of me as award winning for Fabric of the Year. And yet, why not? You designed once upon a time a nursery rhyme fabric, beautiful nursery rhyme, with everything that is, the ring was a draw of the ring. It didn't say a ring about around. It was a picture of a ring. It was a beautiful fabric. But I didn't think that I have a chance. There was Warner Brother and Disney World next to me. Who am I to win an award? And the underdog won, because they didn't want to give it to Disney or Warner Brother. They would be in trouble. So they gave it to Nava, which was this little designer from LA that nobody knew and nobody cared that she won, because there was a lot of political, even in the textile industry. So we watched that to a point that she won, and she did not believe she did not believe that she deserved it.
Right. Okay. So now then, the question is: are you funded? Do you have money to pay for this? Because I can't work for free.
Of course. Okay. So what are we talking about? Give me a lump sum of the idea.
I mean, typically something like this would cost, for 4 weeks of work on a spec project like this, I would typically need $5,000 a week. But I know that this is an independent project, so I can
totally
go
independent.
lower than that. Yeah. But so you tell me what you have, what you're comfortable with, and I'll see if I can work with it.
But are we talking about, if we are going to go forward together, will I be able to have industry ready level pitch? What will I get in the end from you? What do you feel?
You would get, at the end of 4 weeks, you would have a brand new pilot script and a brand new series Bible / pitch deck with the entire first season outlined. It would be what you have, but just better. Basically.
Yeah.
And it would be ready to pitch. Yes, I'm not going to hand you a first draft for that. It would
Yeah,
be it
we'll
would
be
be
ready
a
to
finished
pitch.
draft. And also I can be sending you. We can do it as a step deal. I can send you things throughout, and you can give feedback on it. So I can be constantly polishing. I write very quickly. I mean, something like this would normally take quite a lot longer,
Yeah,
but I happen to work very quickly. Um,
I
so,
see.
and I have this block of time right now, um, because I've got other projects lining up, but they're not going to kick in until probably August or September.
Okay, so the one thing for sure I need to do is I need to involve my lawyer does not I promised her I will not go forward with anything that is not clear and what I want.
Yeah.
And so what I think we should say, Lauren, is you send me a proposal and we
Okay.
need to come to a better number because there will be no way I can pay $20,000 now. I just
Okay.
it's $20,000.
What do you have to What do you have to work with, and I'll let you know if I can work with it.
I mean, I can, but I need to feel that if I pay this money, it's something that it will be. I can go tomorrow to mentally to Tribeca and have a meeting with a pitch deck and a
Yeah.
elevator pitch and to be secure. I'm not secure now, and
Oh, of course not. You know what I can do? Why don't I? So talk to your lawyer about it. Figure out what money you're comfortable with. In the meantime, I'll send you. Trying to think which project is most appropriate. I can send you a pitch deck and 2 episodes of my drama series, so you can see what my writing is like, and you can see if you think I've got the chops. Maybe you'll decide I'm not good enough,
yes,
which is fine.
yeah, yeah.
It'll give you a sense of how professional my work is and how ready it is to pitch.
Yes, okay, that is a very good idea and I like it. So let's just go. But I don't want to waste the time because my
Yeah,
lawyer is like, will take her forever. She doesn't work on Friday, but she works on
right.
Sunday. So I will be able to talk to her already Sunday and I already have ability to give you. But Lauren, are we able to stay in a term of a $10,000?
Yeah, I could do 10,000. It's
Because
just 4 weeks.
Lauren, it's
Yeah.
something that I need to. I like you, so and
Mhm.
then you have the credit that I have that I'm based on. You come with
Yeah.
a good credit, and I love your credit. So it's important
Right.
for me to have the right person. But right
Yeah.
now, I mean, another. I mean, I paid her already. Of course I didn't pay her $10,000. Okay, she gets $35 an hour. So.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a different, but that's what you pay. In the end, I realize you ended up paying. If I would have
Yeah.
met you a year ago, it could
Yeah.
have been that you would not get the direction of the show as much as you got from the Bible and the pilot now,
Right.
or the
Right.
potential
Yeah.
of the show, the potential, not the
Yeah.
direction, the potential.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I'll send you some of my work. And FYI, Ridley Scott is developing one of my projects. So people do like my writing. I've got lots of projects in development at various places. So I will, believe me, I will give you something that is ready to pitch. If I didn't think I could, I wouldn't take the job
but
because
then are you when it comes to term of the credits, are you my lawyer does not allow to have anyone getting credits, only pay for. So co-writing is
um,
okay with you?
co-credit is fine, but I'm a member of the Writers Guild in America and Great Britain. I cannot write pilot for you and not get credited as a screenwriter. It's not legal.
Okay.
And it's also not industry standard.
Okay.
I mean, what you need, I'm a little concerned that your lawyer is giving you bad and illegal advice on that front. You need to protect the underlying rights. You have the rights to the book and the right to the series as a whole.
The
Um,
IP. My
the IP is yours, and you should obviously never let that go. But if a screenwriter writes a script, they get screenwriting credit. That's just how it works with the Writers Guild.
Isn't it for a book adaptation called? It's called screenplay
It's still
adaptation.
called screenplay. It would
Okay.
be